Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 3, and today I'm going to be giving you part 8 of What If Naruto Dreamed to Surpass the Gods. Remember to get this one to 100 like as usual, share this to all of your friends in social media platform, and also guys, go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto was an outcast Uchiha in the time of his Sanins, and enjoyed that guys. And remember, for anyone that's the first time hearing my voice, go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all for helping your support, and yeah, remember to turn on the bell notifications they posted as well. And also guys, I have 3 channels, Anime King, Anime King 2, and Anime King 3, which I post what if on every single day. Yes, you heard that correctly, every single day for you guys to enjoy. So go ahead, click that red subscribe button. Links will be down in the description for Anime King 2 and Anime King guys. And also remember to turn on bell notifications they posted. So yeah, without further ado, let's just jump right into this new episode. Begin the intro. So, the last time we left off, Inoichi went to visit his daughter. Upon visiting Ino, he came across none other than Naruto, who was coming to visit her, as he wanted to have a chat for Naruto for a long time now. So he paused, as Naruto assured him that there was nothing going on between him and his daughter. As Inoichi didn't mean to be harsh or anything, but he just wanted to understand that Ino was not ready for the life that he was already submerged in, as he didn't want her to get hurt. But Naruto assured him that everything was normal, as he was just friends with her. With that, Inoichi could understand, because his daughter was too young to be someone that easily targeted. She was not ready for that world yet. He was just scared for his baby girl. Before Naruto could go in though, as Inoichi left, he was stopped by Gaara. Gaara said something that got Naruto crazy. He said that he was here to finish the job. The bloodlust that reeked from Naruto caused Gaara to see his life end within a second. As Gaara stepped back, realizing that it was Naruto's intent to kill him, he started to get angry until Jiraiya arrived, stopping the whole commission as he told him to go. As Naruto then turned toward Jiraiya and asked him if he could hit him, Jiraiya was confused. It was then that Naruto told him that he knew that he was his godfather, and he asked if he could hit him for that. Seeing no problem in that, seeing that the kid would actually talk to him, Jiraiya allowed Naruto to punch him in the stomach, which was a big mistake when chain wrapped around Naruto's wrists. Jiraiya woke up in the hospital as Hiruzen was there, telling him that he underestimated Naruto, especially his strength. As he was knocked out cold and brought to the hospital, well, he was already there. He was brought to one of the rooms. Some time passed as Naruto finally arrived. As Naruto sat with him and talked to him about feelings, it got Jiraiya thinking about his past, and not to mention his love for Tsunade. As Naruto has been feeling a lot complicated lately. Usually he never had someone that he felt so strongly about, as everyone that he knew never got put in a state where he had to be worried about them. They were strong, and they could protect themselves. And he was someone to conceal his emotions, yet recently they have been slipping out too much. As Jiraiya told him that he was in love, as Naruto was gonna try and find the concept of this love. Unfortunately, something bad happened though. Kakashi was attacked by Orochimaru, who placed a seal on Sasuke the same way. That angered Naruto that he got the Uchiha. As Hiruzen placed him on the team to watch Uchiha, so Naruto decided to take over Sasuke's training. As Naruto decided to drill a lot into his head for the month, Jiraiya had Naruto sign the Toad Summoning contract. There wasn't much that he could teach Naruto other than helping him with Funjutsu and a few other arts. Well, while they were in the village, he couldn't really teach him anything too destructive, or how to harness both the Kyuubi. So with that, they trained for the month, as Naruto mostly focused on training Sasuke. The month went by as it was finally time, as the finals for chunin exams began. Everyone was there, ready to witness the greatness of chunin exams. The Kazekage was extremely happy, as it was time that Konoha will fall, he thought to himself, being Orochimaru under disguise. And Naruto was there to kill Gaara. He had made up his mind, and he was dead serious. The first match was Temari versus Shikamaru as, well, he was quite lazy. But he still ended up winning, but in the end he gave up. Shino then lost to Neji. Sasuke was supposed to face off against Dosu, but Dosu was not here, so Sasuke moved on to the next round. It was then that Naruto stepped foot down there, as Orochimaru noticed that the ghost was dead serious. As Naruto said that it was not time for talking, so he released an absurd amount of water from his mouth, shocking the people that someone could generate that much chakra. He then proceeded to bombard Gaara with that water attack, allowing his sand to get soggy. Without wasting time, he went into a stance as he muttered, Uzumaki sword style, 10 slashes. He moved so fast that Gaara was blind to the touch, as Naruto proceeded to hack Gaara to pieces, slashing deep cuts in his body. He then did Uzumaki style 20 slashes, as he proceeded to assault Gaara once again. Gaara was bleeding, as Naruto said 30, but Orochimaru began the invasion, knowing that the Jinchuriki would not survive. As Naruto paused when he saw the Sun and Sand attacking Konoha, it got him angry. Naruto was a loyal Konoha shinobi through and through, and to see that these other nations believed that they could take down the village, they believed that Konoha has gotten so soft that they could actually raise arms against them, it got Naruto angry, as he would show the world the fear that a man had struck into them a long time ago, which was his father. Konoha needs to show the world that they were still on top, as he pulled out a 3-pronged kunai, as he looked up towards a massive towering beast in the stadium of Gaara transforming into the Shikaku. So yeah guys, that's basically as we left off. If you guys can switch across, so please check it out for yourself. And yeah, without further ado, why don't we just jump right into this new episode without wasting more time, guys. Let's begin now. The arena stadium was large enough to host the massive beast, as the titanic form of a Shikaku was hovering there, the sand pulling together to create its body. On top of the forehead, Gaara slammed his hands together. In truth, Gaara was afraid. He never felt such fear. He felt fear in the past, but this one was different. Naruto's movements were so fast that it put his body in a state of shock. He could feel the feeling of death creeping up on him, so he had to take drastic measures and release his mother. In doing so, slamming his hands together, he dropped his restraints. Shikaku cried out to the heavens. "I'm free," he said like a child. On Christmas Day, he was happy. As he looked around, he was in the depth center. Countless people around him. The shinobis were stuck in fear. Even the Sound and Sand shinobis, being so close to the beast, the Sand shinobis knew how chaotic the raccoon could be. The Sound shinobi started to back away. At that very moment, a massive purple barrier erupted on top of the academy building. That is where the Hokage was, trapped at the moment, with the notorious Orochimaru, as the Sound 4 created the barrier and also protecting himself. Snakes started to breach the village. Summoning Jutsu, Jiraiya summoned Gamabunta. People started to panic in the stadium as he looked up toward Shikaku, who smiled. He raised both of his arms. That is when something flew in front of his face. It was so tiny. Shikaku then saw a yellow flash. The flash also caught many people's attention. Shikaku instantly saw what this person was trying to do. Multiple sand tentacles came up to stab the person from touching Gaara and awakening him. But the person vanished in a yellow flash once again, distracting Shikaku as he felt something tore into his side. The massive beast howled out. Something gripped into his sand, tearing him clean through. It was then that something stabbed right in his right arm. His oversized body was yanked. Something unwrapped around his throat and pulled him down. The place shook. His legs and arms got bind. His entire body was compressed into the ground. As the person stood on his back, Shikaku tried to move, but he found his body burning instead. He roared in anger. "No! I just got out," he screamed. "Let me go!" As he was raging, His movement of his tail slapped her and caused a massive sandstorm, but his tail got bound with another golden chain as the person on his back flashed through hand sign. Fuinjutsu, Uzumaki seal in art, Fortitude seal. The chain started to glow ominously. Shikaku frowned as he felt his body breaking apart. No! He screamed until he was sucked back into the seal of sand, breaking away, leaving the area filled with nothing but sand. The people were shocked, the Jonins mostly. Someone was able to take down the Shikaku in just seconds. But then they noticed a chain. Those chains, the ones that were more advanced, noticed the chains to be the chains of the Uzumaki clan. That was said to be the perfect tail beast weapon. That is a reason why the Uzumakis were wiped out in the past, because no nation could use tail beasts against them. Their Fuinjutsu mixed with their chains. They were virtually unstoppable. Gaara blinked as he came to, confused. He just released his mother, why was he here? As he didn't really understand what was going on. As Shikaku was forced back into the seal, it was then that Gaara cried out as a chain shoved directly into his stomach. Said chain started to burn something on his stomach to make sure the Shikaku would not break through anytime soon. Once it was done, Gaara was backing away in fear. You, Uzumaki, what have you done? As Naruto stood there, he reached towards his back and pulled off his blade as he started to walk towards Gaara. He was not saying anything. Speak, said Gaara. Say something. He shouted at Naruto, but Naruto did not say anything as he moved. Stepping closer to Gaara, Gaara started to sweat. Say something, damn it, he screamed. But Naruto said nothing. Before Naruto could reach him though, someone appeared and chopped Gaara in the back of the neck. As he collapsed, as Naruto looked up, Captain, he said. Wolf looked down towards Naruto. Killing him would be a waste. For one thing, the Shikaku chakra will go dormant, and also we can use him as a bargaining chip. As he pointed his head, that is where Naruto saw Suki, containing Temari, and two other Anbus over towards Kankuro, as they bound him. As Naruto's eyes focused towards Gaara. Are you okay, soldier? Asked Wolf. Yes, I'm fine, said Naruto. As he looked around at all the destruction. Does the other nations believe Konoha to be weak, he asked. As the captain looked around, this invasion, from the report I received, is done by Orochimaru. The sound seemed to be leading by him, and the sand has followed in their steps. I don't know if he was tricking them into this, or what. But they're still fighting our ninjas. You know what to do. For too long, because of the peace, the other nations believe us weak. No more. He created over 50 clones. As Naruto pulled out 10 scrolls, each scroll had several dozens kunai shurikens inside. The clones looked around. As Naruto slammed his hand together, chains upon chains came from his back. The clones leaped up on the chains as they all possessed a kunai in their hand. They then threw it. People over Konoha were shocked. What is this? Several people wondered. Meanwhile, Ino, she saw Naruto down there, but her mind was focused on something else. As one of the sound ninjas had an explosive note as he threw it, the kunai embedded in top of the wall. As he was gonna kill a lot of them in a landslide, it exploded. Ino heard a scream as she saw a mother getting toppled over because of the people pushing it, and her child wandered away. The people looked up as they saw the breaking wall, the child being so small that they did not even notice. Inoichi looked over as he saw Ino move. Ino, he shouted. But it was too late. Ino rushed and she grabbed the child, but it was too late. She had no choice but to cover her with her own body. Inoichi's eyes went wide as he screamed out for his daughter. But the entire thing came down and collapsed, crushing that area. The man's eyes went wide in shock as he was frozen still for a few seconds. That was until a kunai landed beside him and then flashed. Ino had her eyes closed as she was holding on to the child, but she realized she was being held. The small girl in her arms looked around confused. What happened? She asked. You saved me. Ino realized the girl wasn't talking to her. As Ino looked up to see that she was being held by Naruto. Inoichi was shocked as he saw the kid appear beside him, with his daughter alive. "Are you alright?" Naruto asked. "Yeah, I'm fine. Thanks to you," she said. "This is the second time you've saved me." As she had a smile on her face, as Naruto set her down. "Don't worry," he said. "I'm gonna put a stop to this." Inoichi was still baffled. "Be careful," Ino said, as Naruto twisted his feet. Before he was gone, Ino was pulled into a hug. "Dad, I'm alright," she said. But the man had tears in his eyes, but he had to recollect himself. He almost thought he lost his little girl right there and then. It was then that the people saw it. A yellow flash ripping through the arena. The thing was fast. Ninjas, countless, started to be taken down within seconds. As Kakashi and Guy looked around. "Kakashi, isn't that?" As Kakashi stood there shocked. "It can't be," he thought to himself. As they saw him appear and flash, two ninjas fell, he vanished once again. Meanwhile, Harrison was panting, as he was fighting the first and the second. It was then he started to chuckle. "It seems you've gone illusional in your old state. I don't see what is so funny about this situation." As Harrison pointed down, "You may succeed in killing me today. You may even succeed in destroying part of Konoha. But that is something that you can never kill. The will. The will of fire will never be stopped," Harrison said, confidence exploding in his tone. As the ninjas glanced down the sound forest, they saw the yellow flash tearing through the arena. Shinobi's dropping like a fly. People start to run for their life. As they heard the stories, it can't be. People run as they fled, knowing that it was not safe being here. Orochimaru snarled. He couldn't allow this. What was that? "Kill him," he said to the first and the second. Harrison chuckled as he watched both of them come towards him. "It doesn't seem like I'll be surviving this one, Naruto," he said. Knowing that he couldn't allow the first and the second to be unleashed on Konoha, there was only one thing that he could do. "I'll leave the rest in your hands. You and the many more capable shinobis. Guide them. Keep them safe," he said to himself. As he watched Naruto destroy the opposing forces, regain the vigor in the people, as people started to shout, "Is that yellow flash?" As Harrison turned back his gaze towards the two. Reanimations as he moved forward, gripping Enma as he attacked. Back down below, as Naruto started to slow down, as he started to breathe heavily. The Hyroshin was rather taxing on your body once you start to go for a long drive, not to mention pushing Shikaku back in. It wasn't as easy as it looked. As he started to pant heavily, he could still go, but he was getting exhausted. As he looked around towards the rest of the ninjas. As he gripped onto the Hyroshin kunai, that is when he heard the voice. "Use my chakra," the voice of the fox said. As Naruto found himself in front of the seal. "Well, this is the first," he said. "Usually. You never said this to me. What changed?" The fox looked at him rather annoyed. "Soon the world is gonna know of you. And it won't take long before they know that I am inside of you. Through some complications or something happening one day, when you lose your emotions once again and get angry. If you still insist on your stupid goal of becoming the strongest in the world, despite knowing that such being like me exists, you carrying on with the charade. Soon enough, because of what you do here, it will be known who you are. And if the information does come out about me being here, if you were to die of chakra exhaustion today from pushing yourself, it would look quite pathetic with me being in here. I am the strongest, something that you can never hope to achieve. My power is something that you can never hope to reach. But I will not allow my name to be sullied as the strongest, because of one who refrained from using my chakra. It doesn't matter anyway, because despite your goal, in terms of power you would never surpass me. As Naruto looked up at him, he started to chuckle. The fox was surprised, as Naruto doesn't usually laugh. "What's so funny, human?" he said. "It seems your pride is outweighing your hatred of me," said Naruto. "You still want to be the strongest, yet you're willing to give me your chakra to do so. Because if I were to keel over and die, that wouldn't look too good now, would it?" The fox growled. "Don't antagonize me. Now take my chakra and use it. Having you die right now would be quite boring. And besides, your life is interesting me so far. With you unable to grasp basic emotions, I find it rather amusing to see your anguish. So, let me get this straight. You enjoy to see me suffer," said Naruto. "Yes, it's rather amusing for me," the fox said with a smirk on his face that looked downright terrifying. "Huh. I guess I can take your word on that one," said Naruto, as the chakra started to swallow his entire being. As Naruto opened his eyes back in the real world, a slit came in his eyes. As Naruto released a cold breath from his mouth, keeping his body regulated and his emotions calm, but he could feel the hatred of the chakra coursing through him. He didn't move. This time when he moved, the yellow flash became a bit crimson. No one could understand why it changed color all of a sudden, but they didn't get time to. Ninjas start to fall in dozens. Stone and sand ninjas, especially sand, start to run for their life. As they just got up and ran, they were too afraid to have their throat be slit. Without even noticing what was happening around them, everyone started to flee. They were too afraid to even look back. A full-on retreat was happening. With the combined forces of the Inashikacho, after the city was cleared, they went into a full-on assault mode, crushing and decimating all of the remaining ninjas. And with the newfound yellow flash wiping them out, the ninjas barely had enough time to do anything. The invasion was watered down to literally nothing. As Naruto appeared on top of the roof, several of the envoys there saw him. As they turned towards him, "What's happening?" he said, as an envoy with a koala mask walked up towards him. The Hokage is trapped inside. We can't see behind the foliage. As Naruto stepped up, "Don't touch it." As the envoy pointed towards a corpse. As he looked at the barrier, he wasn't going to touch it, he was just examining it. Damn it, Naruto cursed. As he looked towards his own 4 members, he walked around as he eyed each and every one of them. "Do you really think you will leave this place alive?" said Naruto. They were not responding because they were keeping themselves focused, their hands locked together, their eyes closed. As he could not break their mental fortitude, he created a Rasengan before he plunged it right near the face of the girl. He then plunged another one right near the face of the fat guy, the one with the 6 arm and then the one with the 2 head. He noticed the guy with the 6 arm twinge a bit. Another Rasengan as he plunged it forward. Another one as he plunged it forward. "You fool," said Kidomaru. "That's not gonna work. Don't think you can break our barrier that easily." His shout caused Naruto's chain to burst from his chest and stab into the barrier. Naruto's chain started to glow ominously, a red glow enveloping them. Kidomaru cursed. "What the hell is this?" he said. "Hey guys, he's breaking through," he shouted, as Naruto's other chain plunged into it. "Drop the barrier," a voice shouted. As Naruto heard the voice, it was Orochimaru's. Kidomaru was fearful, as he had a barrier protecting him, but if he were to drop it now, as he quickly formulated a plan. "Now!" Orochimaru shouted, his voice laced with anger. "Drobo," said Seikon. Drobo nodded as he dropped his hand and flashed to hand sign, Earth style. Earth rampage as the entire Hero started to shake violently, allowing the others to jump back in. As Naruto swiped, Kidomaru moved though, as Naruto was forced to jump back from the earth, top of the roof being shook apart. The envoys rushed in as Naruto moved. What he saw, the body of Hiruzen lying there. Naruto's eyes became downright murderous. His eyes started to change from blue to red. As Naruto turned his gaze as he saw them fleeing, something that he would not allow. As Naruto shot off, breaking the roof. Jiraiya turned his gaze as he saw the blonde chasing after them. He rushed down to aid the blonde. He would not allow Orochimaru to escape. "He's coming after us," said Seikon. "Stop him," Orochimaru said, his voice laced with rage. His arms were a mess, and he could not fight the ghost right now, he would die. As Kitamura opened his mouth and released a glob of strange sticky fluid, Naruto flashed through hand sign, wind style, wind cutter as he sliced right through the technique. Damn it, Teiwa pulled out her flute and summoned her dokis. The three massive beasts rushed towards Naruto. Two chains erupted from Naruto's hands. As they surround them, Naruto jumped before he drilled it into the doki's chest. Kicked off their body, the third one tried to swallow him. Naruto created a large Rasengan before he sank it into his throat, throwing the body back. Naruto jumped as he cracked the roof as he landed on it, shooting off wind gathering at his feet. Seikon cursed as he created a weapon out of his material. As he clashed with Naruto, Seikon staggered back though, seeing look in Naruto's eyes. As Naruto dodged underneath, Seikon raised his arms. Naruto sliced Seikon's scream as two of his arms fell off. Naruto jumped and did a brutal kick that threw his body right through the roof. As Naruto landed and broke the roof as he moved off once again. As the group started panicking by this point, Orochimaru looking behind him, actually feeling fear, as he saw a silhouette behind Naruto's red gaze, with two demonic eyes chasing after them. "Jobo, do something," said Teiwa. Jobo stopped as he slammed his hand to the earth and lifted up a massive chunk of the earth and threw it, as it seemed to have crushed Naruto. But it was then that Jobo noticed a knife past his face. It was a kunai. The next thing Jobo knew, a feet planted right in his face, causing his body to hit the ground underneath him. With such force, his body slammed into it and bounced off the pavement. As Naruto didn't stop, as he pulled out three palm kunais, he was about to throw them until Orochimaru opened his mouth. Hundreds of snakes fluttered out of his throat. Upon doing that though, he fell, causing Seikon to catch him, as his body was too exhausted to do anything else. The hundreds of snakes swarmed towards Naruto. Seeing them coming, Naruto stopped as he had to go through hand sign, wind style, great wind breakthrough. A colossal amount of wind erupted from the blonde's palm that teared the snakes apart. The next thing Naruto knew, at least 20 sound ninjas landing in front of him. Orochimaru sending them back as a diversion to stop this one person, as he had no choice but to stop him, and they saw that he was only one person. But they made a big mistake as Naruto landed. When Jiraiya arrived on the scene, what he saw was nothing but gore, blood, and bodies. As Naruto stood there, Jiraiya watches Naruto ram a Rasengan down into the throat of the remaining sound ninja. As the man cried out gargling blood, Naruto ripped his hand out of the man's mouth before he turned as another swing a blade. Naruto gripped him by the throat and then went around his neck and snapped it. Akunoichi tried to impale him as he jumped over a blade and slammed a boot in her face. As he then brought his hand down, chain erupted on his palm as he drove it through her chest. Bodies were everywhere. The ninjas that were following behind him, the Onvus, came upon the gruesome scene. They've never seen the ghost this angry before, as all of the bodies were massacred, as Naruto's eyes were bleeding red as he looked around, but several massive explosions went off ahead of them. Orochimaru used them as a way to get away, causing massive explosion, forcing Naruto to bring up his chains, as it blocked all of the debris that was thrown. Once his chain finally came down, Naruto turned his back as he rushed past Jiraiya. Jiraiya confused as he went after the blonde, but Naruto arrived as he saw the other two that he took down. They were gone. They used the diversion to escape, as Naruto smashed his fist into the wall, cracking it to pieces beside him. "Kid, calm down," said Jiraiya. "We will," as Naruto looked towards him. The look on Naruto's face even got someone like Jiraiya to flinch. As Naruto looked at him, his eyes, they looked so empty. It looked like a man that would just kill you where you stand. Well, judging from what he did and the blood soaking him, it made him look downright terrifying. "I guess you saw Sensei," said Jiraiya. Those words seemed to calm Naruto down. "Don't worry, we'll find him. And all of them will pay for this," said Jiraiya. "I can promise you that." He knew that he shouldn't be promised something like that, but he had to get the kid to come to a sense of calming. Naruto was right about his emotions. He did not handle them well because he spent the better part of his life keeping them, well, calm. And whenever something were to rile them up so badly, especially seeing someone that you know since you were a small child, someone that went out of their way to take care of you, knowing that the villagers would not take kindly to him being the Jinchuriki of the Kyuubi, going out of your way to keep you safe from everyone, keeping you safe from almost anyone that would ever see was a threat. Someone that came by a lot to make sure that you were okay despite the gruesome training of being an Anvu, to make sure that you had someone to play shogi with, to make sure you had someone to talk with. As the man was like a real grandfather to him. And he was gone. Yet despite that, Naruto did not cry. As he stood there, Jiraiya placed a hand on his shoulder. As Naruto fell, Jiraiya caught him. He was waiting for this to happen, knowing that the kid was running on fumes. And not to mention he saw it in his eyes. He had tapped into some of the Kyuubi's chakra. He usually don't rely on it, so it would put a strain on his body if he used it too much, in the state that he was in. Not to mention Minato wasn't able to achieve the high Rishin until he was in his late teens, and yet Naruto was a child, and he was already at that level of mastery. If that wasn't impressive, Jiraiya didn't know what was. He didn't even know that the kid had the high Rishin on him. He didn't know that he had the capability to perform it. No, that came to him as a shock. The kid was truly something else. Jiraiya sighed though. His sensei was gone. As he lowered his head and took the kid with him. Time skip. A few days later, as Naruto was standing in front of the resting place of Hiruzen Sarutobi, despite his body still being exhausted when he had just waken up, he did not care. He still made his way to the funeral, as he saw everyone gazing at him, but their focus was mostly on the, well, death of their leader. As Naruto simply looked down, the man was truly gone. He would never see him again, nor would they fuss over anything once again, nor could he pull his move and disappear on him ever again. He was just gone. He wanted so badly to kill Orochimaru. He would have given anything to kill him right there and then. The moment he got in close, those damn snakes came in his path, and those two that he had knocked down, they managed to escape. But he will find them. There was nothing on this earth that will stop him from finding them and seeking revenge. He never fought for revenge. He always fought for the mission. But lately, as he was exploring more in the world, he found himself fighting for revenge. And he was gonna definitely find Orochimaru and end his life. He would not stop until he did that. Two Anvus landed behind him. "Excuse me," one of them said. "Your presence is required at the council chambers at the moment." As Naruto glanced behind him, he did not say anything as the Anvus were becoming quite nervous. "I'll be there shortly," he said. They nodded and they left. He wasn't trying to be cool to people, but he found himself getting disinterested easily. Maybe it was because he wanted Orochimaru dead. Maybe it was because he failed to caught him. As Naruto clenched his fist, as he made his way towards the count's room, knowing that this was coming sooner or later. Arriving towards that room, the Anvus outside nodded as he was just inside. Upon stepping in, he saw that Jiraiya was in there. As he wondered if Jiraiya had taken the monument off, becoming Hokage. The next person that Naruto gazed focus on was Danzo Shimura, the polar opposite of Hiruzen Sarutobi. While Hiruzen was seeking things in peace, Danzo would choose war over peace to get what he wanted. The man had never once spoken to him when he was younger. Once he was on Anvu, the man had never spoken to him even though he had seen him once he was in uniform. He was sure that Hirosen decided to keep his name even out of his mouth, as Danzo didn't once come near him. As Naruto stopped inside, "Ah, Uzumaki-san, you're here," Koharu said. As Naruto nodded, the clan heads all looking at him. They were still amazed that one child so young could do something like that. Because of him, they did not lose as much as they were supposed to lose in the invasion. "Do you know why you were called?" the voice of Koharu said. "I believe it was because of the recent event regarding the invasion," said Naruto. "Smart as well." "Correct," she said. "There are several things that is currently plaguing us at the moment. Before we venture into other details, why do you possess the Fourth Kage's technique, the Flying Thunder God?" Ever since he came out of the hospital, people has been suspecting that he was the son of the Fourth Kage. They had no proof, but his hair and eyes, it looks so obvious. But he didn't say anything or answer any questions. "Minato Namikaze is my father," said Naruto. Jiraiya remained silent, as it was up to the kid whether he wanted to tell people or not. As he was more than enough to defend himself, the only reason why it was kept away from everyone was because of the threat of people knowing who he is and sending assassinations after him. Everyone in the room looked towards him. "Wait, really?" said Tatsumi. "Yes. My mother was Kushina Uzumaki. Because of the threat on my life, knowing that several ninjas would be trying to assassinate me, given what my father did in the previous war, the former Hokage hid the information regarding my heritage and kept me in secret." "That's a lot," said Tatsumi. "For one thing, you're the one known as Ghost, and the other one, you're now the son of the Hokage? Former Hokage," she said, as the members all looked at him. "Do you have any evidence to back this up?" asked Homura. As Naruto glanced towards Jiren, "He's telling the truth. He's Minato's son, alright. And the reason why it was hidden was exactly why he said. Well, it makes sense. I mean, look at him. If you remove those whisker marks, he will look exactly like the Fourth Kage, especially with those two bangs coming down his face. Am I lying?" Choza asked. As everyone looked towards his face, but Naruto did not seem uncomfortable or embarrassed, he just looked blank. As Danzo simply watched him, not saying anything, if he knew or not. As Koharu asked another question, "Have you mastered the ability?" she asked. "To some extent," said Naruto. "What do you mean?" "I have mastered to some extent," said Naruto. The members looked at him as he didn't seem like he was gonna explain anything else. "May I ask who was gonna be the next Hokage?" he said. As the members all looked at each other, they were curious about his background, and they still had more questions, but that was a looming question. Jiraiya knew that if he stayed here for much longer, well, they wouldn't stop asking him a bunch of questions. And the kid was not in a questioning mode, from what Jiraiya could see. As he got to his feet, "I'll bring the Hokage back within a month," he said. As the members looked at him confused, Danzo, looking quite upset. "And what exactly do you mean by that?" said Danzo. "Tsunade Senju." "Lady Tsunade?" said Tatsumi. "Are you sure that she would even take the job? She's been gone for so long. I mean, we don't even know where she is." "Don't worry, I'll find her. She has the background. She had the fortitude, the mentality. She will become the perfect Hokage," he said. "Give me a month, and the kid here as well. I will need his help to track her down." "Do you really believe that you can bring her back?" Homura asked. "Yeah," said Jiraiya. "Don't worry, I'll bring her back. You do know that if you fail on this task, there's a chance that you will have to take the position. After all, you are the former student of the late third." "I won't fail on the mission," said Jiraiya. As he did not specify that he also had his plan to work, as even if he failed, how would he take the position? Danzo was downright furious, everyone just going above him like he wasn't even there, as he was gonna make a grab for the Hokage seat, but now. "Alright, I'll see you guys in a month," as he scooted Naruto out as fast as possible, before they could ask him any more questions. "I saw that you were not in the mood to answer Soma's questions. Especially you don't seem like you want to tell him about you know what," as he looked towards Naruto's stomach. Where are we going? Naruto asks. I have a few leads already. Why don't you get back and meet me at East Gate? As Naruto nodded. Naruto arrived to his home as he saw Ino there, waiting for him. Ino's face lit up when she saw him, as she marched over and simply hugged him. As Naruto stood there, his arms at his side. Are you alright? She said. She hadn't had time to see him with the whole event going on. I'm fine. No, you're not, she said. As Naruto looked at her. I know you're good at concealing your emotions, but it's okay to be sad most times, she said. You yourself told me that the third was like a grandfather to you. And from what I saw, the both of you were really close. I know it must be hurting. I'm here, she said, if you want to talk. If you just want to be angry. I'm here. There's no need to hide yourself from me. Do you understand? She asks. As Naruto placed a hand on her shoulder. Thank you. But I'll be fine, he said. Death is a part of a shinobi's life. It's something that everyone has to come to terms with. Yes, I know that, but it doesn't mean that you shouldn't be sad about it. It doesn't mean that you should just jump over it like nothing. I didn't say I was doing that, said Naruto. Oh, alright, said Ino. I'm sorry. You have nothing to be sorry about, said Naruto. I said it's alright. Are you okay? He asks. Well, you did save me, so yeah. I'm fine, she said, looking over herself. I just wanted to make sure that you were alright. So what's up? I'm sorry, but I have to leave the village for a while. As she looked a bit sad by that. Why? She asks. I'm going with Jiraiya-san to recruit the new Hokage. Really? So quick? Who is it? Tsunade Senju, said Naruto. The legendary Sanin. The medical one, isn't she? Yes, said Naruto. Do you guys know where she is? Jiraiya has a location, although I'm not sure that he fully has it. She's known to wander around a lot. Oh, alright, she said. She placed a hand on both of his shoulders. Well, good luck, she said. And be careful out there. Alright? A pleading look was in her eyes when she said that, as she was worried about him big time. As Naruto smiled. Thank you for your worries, but I'll be fine, he said. He walked inside as she followed behind him as he started to pack. They chat for a while, nothing too serious. As few of the teams have been put on reserves, their Jonin senseis were out doing missions. Once he was ready, as she walked him towards the gate. Well, I guess this is goodbye for now, she said. I'll see you when you get back. Yes. As she hugged him once more. Be careful, she said. As she didn't know why she was feeling this nervous, even after seeing what he could do. I will, he said. Oh, by the way, you will hear this perhaps sooner than later, but my father is the fourth Hokage, Minato Namikaze. Yeah, what? I'll see you soon, said Naruto, as he walked off, leaving Ino there. Confused and surprised, as she glanced towards the monument. Fourth Hokage? She remembered seeing his picture. Blonde hair, blue eyes. She turned, but Naruto was already gone. Huh. She didn't know. She didn't believe that anyone knew. Or did they? She made her way off, as she bumped into Sakura. Oh hey Ino. Did you went to see Naruto? Sakura asks. Yeah, how did you... Well, I was just worried about him. I mean, I haven't seen him since the whole invasion thing. When I went by the hospital to check upon him, he wasn't even there. The doctor said that he checked out rather early despite him just waking up. But they said that he should be fine though. So I was hoping that you had saw him. When I didn't see you by the flower shop, I decided to come here. Well, he said that he's fine, but... You're worried, aren't you? Said Sakura. Yeah, said Ino. As Sakura looked at her friend. You really like him, don't you? As Ino looked towards her, but she said nothing. It was more than like, Ino thought to herself. Yeah, it was far more than that. She never felt this way about anyone, not even Sasuke. Are you okay? Sakura asked, seeing her friend looking a bit speechless. Yeah, but Naruto told me something before he left. That the fourth Hokage was his father. Wait, what? The fourth Hokage? The yellow... Sakura's eyes went wide. What is it? Ino asked. Follow me, said Sakura as they made their way off. Meanwhile, trapped in the cells of Konoha was the Sand siblings. At the moment they were not released, they were being fed and kept alive. Soon enough the Sand would send word that they want them back. and they would have to come to Konoha terms to get them back. After all, they were the heirs of the Akatsuki, and the bloodline was what the title went down in. And not to mention they want back their Jinchuriki. That was the reason why Fox didn't make Naruto kill Gaara. It would be a waste. And not to mention with them having them, it would be a big boost for Konoha. At the moment though, Gaara was awake, but he was afraid. Every time he closed his eyes, what he saw frightening him. It was Uzumaki coming towards him with a blade to end his existence. He was afraid of that. Afraid of those eyes. So cold, so emotionless. It was like a feeling of death itself. Yes, he was afraid big time. At the moment, as Naruto and Jiraiya were making their way, as the both of them were being watched and they knew that, but yet still they remained calm as ever. It has been a few days since Naruto had used that technique. No doubt the information had been passed around already. After all, information like that does not stay steady. The fourth Hokage was feared by the entire world because of what he could do. To hear that someone has reawakened that ability, and worse when he found out that it was the ghost of Konoha, an already deadly figure, it would be bad. Really bad. As Naruto spoke softly, "Who do you think it is?" "I'm not sure," said Jiraiya. "But whoever they are, they're probably just scouts. They're not trying to get at us or anything. They're just watching for now." "Perhaps they're worried," said Naruto, "about the reawakening of Yellow Flash." "You're right," said Jiraiya. "They're staying their distance." As Naruto looked ahead as he came to a stop. "What are you doing?" "Letting this person get away is a sign to show them that once again Konoha can be trifled with. So does its ninjas. I won't allow them to spy on me." "Kid, wait!" But Naruto was already gone. The spy that was currently watching them was sure that he was secured when he saw the blonde vanish. Shit. He turned and hightailed it out of there, as he was not going to chance it. That kid was known as a ghost, if he was truly the one that possessed the Hiroshin. It was going to become 100 times worse. He started to flee for his life, until he had to stop. As Naruto stood in front of him, the man stood there with shock. How he turned and rushed, but chains blocked his path. He leaped, but one of them grabbed his leg and slammed him face first on the ground, breaking his nose as blood started to pour from his face. Two chains grabbed his arms and snapped them, pulling them back roughly as he cried out. As Naruto pulled him towards him, the man was hanging upside down. "Please, don't kill me," he begged. "Who are you?" said Naruto. "Why were you watching us?" I wasn't. I was just BAM! Naruto's fist connected in his face. "Lie to me again, and it will be much worse." As the man was bleeding heavily, there was no headband, no insignia on him. As a spy would definitely do that. I, BAM! "Speak up," said Naruto as he banged his fist in the man's face again. The man opened his mouth, but no sound was coming out. A poof as Naruto blade appeared in his hand as he unsheathed and slided forward, but Jiraiya grabbed his wrist. "Calm down, kid," said Jiraiya, as he held on to Naruto's wrist. "Why are you stopping me?" said Naruto. "He's a spy. He deserves to die. We don't know where he's from, kid, and if he's..." Jiraiya heard the man cried out as Naruto. A clone of Naruto poofed up from the ground. Once again, Naruto had clones all around him. He always released them in some sort of transformation or something. As a clone drilled the Rasengan through the man's back, killing him. Jiraiya gave Naruto this approving glare. "Why did you have to do that?" he said. "You're being too soft," said Naruto. "I said it once before. The other nations believe that Konoha is weak, so they're trying to take advantage of us. Think about it. In the past, you believe, even if Orochimaru had the manpower, that the Sand would ever take foot against us, the Sand of all nations." As Naruto's tone started to become heavy. "They know that they're amongst the weakest. Do you think they'll rile up against the strongest? Konoha has grown weak over time. That is what they believe. And they're taking stand against us. What do you think is going to happen next? The world is going to believe that we're weak. And then they're going to come again. And then they're going to what?" said Jiraiya. "Nothing," said Naruto. "No, say it," said Jiraiya. You're worried that you're going to kill someone else. Someone close to you. Look kid, I know that you're hurting. You try to conceal it as much as possible. But you never had to deal with these emotions before, so you must be feeling really bad right now. Not understanding why you feel this way exactly. But it's a part of life, kid. Come on. There's a lot we have to talk about, said Jiraiya. And you have to remember you're not the only one going through pain. As Naruto looked at Jiraiya, remembering that he was a student of Hiruzen. As Naruto lowered his head, before his head came back up, his eyes still looked empty. As he started to walk off, leaving Jiraiya to remove the mess that he created. Time skip. As Naruto sat in a hotel, Jiraiya had went on about a few things. Naruto heard him plain and simple, but the actual thing was Naruto knew what he was feeling. He knew how to comprehend it, but it still didn't stop the pain that he was not used to. As he sat in his hotel, Jiraiya had made his way off to gather information, but that was false. He was really off to spend time with a girl. As Naruto had no qualms about that though. He was mentally exhausted, so he leaned back in the bed. Meanwhile, that was going on as several figures were gathered. All of them were a hologram. The leader had peculiar eyes, purple eyes with a pattern in them. Zetsu, report, the leader said. A creature, half black, half white, his head looking like a phoenix flytrap, came from the ground. The One Tails is in the custody of Konoha. The two is still residing within Kumo. The civil war is still going on in Kiri, with the Three Tails as the leader of the faction against rebellion. The 4 and 5 are in the outskirts of the Hidden Stone. Their location unknown at the moment, but they're not within the village confines. The 6th Tail is unknown. 7 reside in Taki. 8 unknown location within Kumo. The 9 Tails is still unknown. The 9 Tails is the biggest one here. A voice spoke up. We still have no idea where or who the container is. It was the voice of Sasori, the spy master as well, as he had a large spy network, as he was also a master of puppeteer as well. Sasori is right. Have there been no sightings or nothing linking the 9 Tails back to Konoha as the leader? No, Pain-sama, said Zetsu. However, there has been some new developments, such as the rising of Yellow Flash. Some are estimating that he's a son of the former Yellow Flash. His name is Naruto Uzumaki. That is what I've gotten so far. The one that is known as a ghost in the bingo book. Itachi, is there anything that you can give us on him? I do not know him as a ghost, only as Naruto Uzumaki. He's a calm, calculated child. That is the only thing I know about him. And nothing about the whereabouts of the 9 Tails. No, the Hokage kept that information to his grave. Someone must know about it, said Kisame. Yes, Kisame is right, said Sasori, the higher-ups. Perhaps the sage, Jiraiya of the Sannin. Yes, but it will be difficult to get the information out of his lips. But it would be fun, said Kisame. No, none of you are to go after the Toad Sannin, said Pain. His voice was final, as he was not giving him a protest or anything, and he knew that. Zetsu, continue your search. The rest of you, continue doing what you're doing. We will soon start to act. If by that time we have no information regarding 9 Tails, we will go to the village personally and take it. As Kisame smirked, so did Hidan. Now that's what I've been waiting to hear. A good blown slaughter, Hidan said with a smile. I can show Konoha what true art is, said Deidara with a smirk. You're all dismissed. Time skip. At the Hidden Stone. We have lost contact, sir, an envoy in the office said. Oniki smashed his fist on the table. The short man with a rather large nose, Oniki, the third Hokage, was rather upset. They had lost contact with their spy that they sent out to gather more information. Because only he had to know. He had to know if Konoha has truly bring forth another yellow flash. The power of Minato had, well, vanished off the world when he died. And for that power to rise once again, no, he wouldn't allow that. They had one thing to deal with already. Several prominent shinobis popping up, such as the Ghosts. And from what he's been hearing, the Ghosts was said to be the Yellow Flash. If those two natures were combined, no, it can't be. Ain't Kumo. What? The Raikage said, as he looked over the file on his decks. It's right, boss. The information is spreading all over Konoha. It seems that this Ghost character, Naruto Uzumaki, also possessed the Hiroshin technique. As A looked at the photograph that someone was finally able to get, as he couldn't believe it. This child. What about him? It's his son. As Dory looked towards A, his son, his features, look at him. Blonde hair, blue eyes, those bangs. Same technique. It can't be a coincidence. Huh. That cheeky bastard had a kid and left him in the dust, so no one would find out about him. But it seems he's now exposed himself to the world. From this report, he was the main and driving force that allowed the sand and the sound to flee for their life. Well then, it seems like another yellow flash is rising, said Dori. What are we gonna do about this, boss? As the Raikage closed his eyes in deep thought, the man then started to chuckle. Dori didn't know if that was a good laughter or a bad one, as he didn't know what was so amusing about the whole situation. But the Raikage seemed to find it amusing though. Meanwhile, Tsunade's eyes widened as she won a buttload of cash. Something was wrong. Something was definitely wrong, she thought to herself. She wasn't this lucky. Something was happening. As she turned towards Shizune, who was also shocked, knowing that whenever she won, it was a bad sign. Shizune, we're leaving, she said. Yes, Lady Tsunade, as they start to leave. However, well, someone was on their tail. Tsunade didn't know why, but she felt like something big was gonna happen today. And she didn't like that feeling one bit. But guys, be Inspo right here. If you want the next part to do, like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification to stay posted. Remember, share to all of your friends in social media platform. And also stay tuned for the rest of what is coming your way, which I hope you guys enjoy. So yeah, I'm off for now. See you guys soon. Peace.